Hello there, and welcome to In My Opinion. And these are my feelings on Mass Effect Andromeda. Yeah, this is a bit different than my usual stuff. Before I get into the nitty gritty, I will say there will be a little bit of spoilers with talk about this game. So the simple gist of it is, I think it's a great game. If you're a Mass Effect fan, you should play it. Or if you just want a space action RPG game, it's also worth your time. Even if you never heard of Mass Effect, though, I would be surprised if you never heard of it. So let's get down to it. The story itself, to sum up, is basically you, your sister, and your father are going to a brand new galaxy, the Andromeda Galaxy from the Milky Way. This was actually a good decision to do, so you don't have to try to connect all the things that happen in 1, 2, and 3 to this. But shit goes wrong. Your father dies, and you take up the role as Pathfinder, which basically is the role of finding habitable planets for all the races in this new galaxy. And depending who you are, you could be the brother or the sister. If you're the brother, your sister's in coma, or vice versa. I like the fact that they let you create both the brother and sister, so you could try if you want to make them look similar or completely different. It's in your control, 100%. What I didn't like though is that in the story, your sister or your I'll just say, you know what, just to say your sister, because I was a brother the whole time. So to make things less confusing, your sister is in a coma for the great amount of the game. It's kind of sad that it's like that. She only comes out of it like near the end, midway point, or so on. It would have been nice for her to wake up a little sooner, to have more interaction with her, maybe have her as a squad mate or whatever. But it is what it is. The main goal is just finding new planets, but you find a brand new threat, which is called the Ket, who people have said have the similar style of making enemies like the Reapers from the original trilogy, and they're not really wrong. It's basically this is one of the big spoiler twists is they're taking their genetics and mixing with other races to make more of them. Basically, that's what it is. But that's the main plot. Them trying to stop you and you trying to find a way to make all these planets habitable for everybody. The characters you meet up that end up your squad mates are actually really good. A lot of people, not a lot, well, yeah, a lot, because with the reaction this game got, seem to hate them for some reason. I don't know why. I like the squad mates. I liked Drac, the old grandpa Krogan, has all the experience, looks cool, has a good sense of humor. Then there's Vetra, who is the female Turian in his squad. Again, good sense of humor, snappy, and is also a little dirty past and everything. And she has a sister as well that she takes care of, which also comes into her own little story as well. And then you got Cora, who used to be a part of a Asari commando squad. Some people say she talks about plants and the Asaris way too much, but from my experience, I didn't feel that way. Like, it never became nagging that she would just talk about them over and over again. Yeah, she has some hero worship for a certain Asari, but when something happens, the reaction you expect from her happens when she finds out something. It's not terrible. People, I don't know why people hate her so damn much. And there's also PB, who is an Asari trying to find out remnant tech, which is one of the main things that are also connected to reformatting the planets, making them more habitable. So, like, cooling down the heat on the new Chanchanka planet, and so on and so forth. Some people again hated her because they said she's too overactive and chatty and everything, but I had no problem with her. Some of the other ones I will say are not as memorable, like Liam. He's okay, I guess. But it's not like the freaking original trilogy hit a home run with every character they had. Some of them were pretty boring, and I didn't care for them. Like the biotic guy from part one, I can't freaking remember his name. Like he wasn't all that great, but you know I wouldn't call him terrible. Just nothing outstanding. So yeah, the squad mates are pretty damn cool. The loyalty missions, you get to learn more about them. Of course, you can romance the characters depending on your gender, which is also pretty cute. It is obvious that they spent a little bit more time on some of them compared to the rest. Like PB, I think got the most time out of the squad mates when it comes to development, and also I think even romance, according to some people. I actually went with Korra. One of the main reasons I ain't gonna afraid to say it is because I knew there was no sequel coming for this game, nothing coming for this game. So I was like, let me choose the human for once. And she wasn't a shitty, annoying human, and I didn't dislike her or anything. So I was just like, screw it. If not, I would have gone with Vetra because she's actually pretty cool too. But I didn't go that route this time. But yeah, that's the squad mates are great. I like the designs as well, especially again Drac. His is pretty cool. Uh, and the overall story itself was okay. Just you versus the cat trying to find out how to beat them, how to terraform basically these worlds to make them more habitable. The best stories are everything else, which is when you're trying to make every planet habitable and solving their problems, like the New Chonchonka, because the Krogans kind of have a conflict with the Nexus, which is basically the home base arc that houses a lot of the people in cryos sleep, since it was like a 600-year trip. There's that, and you gotta, somehow cool that down, try to make relations better. Then the Angaras, which are the brand new race, and I forgot to talk about Jaw. Jaw's also awesome. He's one of the Angaras you meet up with. They tend to wear their emotions on their sleeves, so they're very upfront, which is actually pretty damn cool. He it was my main squad mates were basically him and Korra for the vast majority of it, with some Drac on it. And the dialogue you share between the characters was great. It really shows the bonding or the differences between them, the ideas on certain things. It's just fun. Yeah, like those stories, and a rival group that does not like the newcomers to this galaxy, the Rokar, which are part of the Angara, dealing with that was actually more interesting. I wish that was like the main conflict story right there with the Rokar, since the Angara are actually really important to the story, and it would have been more interesting to keep focusing there. And we would have most likely had a better villain, because the villain for this one, I think he's called the Exalted One or something. He's so like boring and forgettable. I forgot. He's just that. He's generic. Like it's nothing like with the voice acting, which is great. It's nothing with that. It's just that he's just, ooh, I'm evil and I'm doing evil things, and that's basically his personality. And he's as dull as he looks. And I wish we had a much better big bad, but all the other stories, all the other conflicts more than make up for that. The gameplay itself is probably the best gameplay in the Mass Effect franchise. I know I might be sacrilege to say to some, but I played part three, which is highly held. I replayed that a little bit ago, a while ago, to redo some of the DLC that I totally forgot about, and to also see the brand new ending they released a while ago for it. Like that combat was, like I said, held to high regard, but comparing that to Andromeda is way better. It's way smoother. Is versatility, I think that's the right expression I'm saying, where you could jump up, you can use the high ground, you can do all this crazy stuff, the boosting left and right. It's very high speed. And I couldn't imagine Mass Effect 3 playing this because Mass Effect 3, even though I love it, like the other games, it's clunky still. It felt clunky moving around, trying to get an aim and everything. Andromeda has none of that. Hell, it even has an automatic cover system that once you pull out a weapon, you take cover behind anything and it does it. And I thought it was going to be freaking horrible. And surprisingly, it worked perfectly fine. So much so I got used to it when I was playing my friend with another game that I was like, man, why isn't I taking cover when I should be automatically? But you know, you're supposed to press the button in the other game I was playing with my friend, and I just totally forgot because how easy and perfectly seamless the cover system was in Andromeda. And then there's also your cover also could deteriorate depending on the enemy shooting on it. So there's that hecticness to the combat itself. And then you have your skills you could do. I was mainly a biotic, you can tell by the gameplay, which is going to be showing. This is going to be a small ass screen in the corner talking blah 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 and everything. But the game biotic doing the powers, doing combos, that's also pretty damn cool. Where you could send singularity so they could float and then throw another biotic power which will explode, or use a tech power or elemental like fire and ice and all these other things that make combos and makes combat so damn enjoyable. Another big improvement this game did over the other is the car, because if anyone says the Mako for Mass Effect 1 was well done, they are fucking lying. That game was like sticking wheels to a blue ball you use for playing booties up. It controlled like ass. This one controls perfectly, which is great because you'll be exploring a lot, all these planets, and on the planet side type of thing, all these planets look different. All of them have their own personality. All of them have their own negatives that you're trying to fix when you're terraforming it. It's not like part one where part one Mass Effect where the different planets was like, oh, here's a blue planet. Here's a different shade of blue. Here's a shade of green. It was so dull, and this was on point. It was perfect when it came to exploration of all these planets. All the side missions you could easily find. The map was easy to get around. Like, everything was great on that aspect. Another thing I forgot to mention when it comes to character interactions, one thing I hope they implement in the next Mass Effect game is that your crew members can actually end up different places on the ship. This ship is the Tempest. It's a little smaller than the other, the Normandy. But this one, like, the crew members won't always be in one spot. They actually move around. They actually talk a lot to one another. So it feels like a functioning crew that actually talks and relate to one another a lot, which makes the crew feel all that much together, which makes something like one of the side quests is a movie night, which I suggest you do. It's like a slow lead up to near the end where the crew gets together to watch a film, and it's definitely a moment to see the crew like bond, and it doesn't feel fake. It doesn't feel like, oh, this is just ugh. It doesn't make sense. No, it makes sense because you know for a fact the crew has been interacting with each other, talking to each other all the time on the Tempest. It's just, it feels so natural. And I know most of the problems of this game was when it was released, it ran like total shit. That's what I got. That's what got me scared to actually play the game. It took me a while to finally play this game. Is I heard it ran like total freaking garbage. And, you know, that sucks because the knee-jerk reaction was to basically abandon the game. They fixed a lot of the issues, because when I played it, I rarely ran into anything. The most weird thing I ran into presentation-wise was you would see the subtitle of someone going to say something, and it takes like 10-15 seconds for them to blurt it out finally. I don't know what the hell that was. What was that? But I never got stuck in somewhere. No one looked weird. My character didn't look funny running. Like he looked weird dancing, but that's just par for the course for Mass Effect. They did scrub out a lot of the problems, even missions. I think there was like one mission that weirded out on me, but it wasn't anything really important because it's actually, besides like meaningful side missions that have, more, a little story to it with some choices and stuff like that. There's also task, which is not as important. Maybe one or two of them, like one, two, or three of them, I probably have a little story to them, like a reporter. But besides that, none of the main missions or the side mission, the main important side missions, glitched out on me. Everything worked perfectly fine. I it's so sad what happened to this game that they just abandoned it with no DLC, nothing. It it made a bad impression out the door, but after they smoothed it out a bit, it leaves such a better impression. I'm so, like I said, I'm someone who really loved the trilogy. I bought an Xbox for the first one. I didn't want really a Xbox 360, but Mass Effect made me get one. Thankfully, they brought it to other consoles because I got red ringed eventually. But yeah, even not even touching the game for years and just seeing the ending again, the part three, made me tear up. So I do have an emotional connection to the game. And I can still say Andromeda is a great game, a great entry into the series. And I just feel like I got a raw deal. And the reaction for fans caused a knee-jerk reaction to just leave it out to die, basically. I did hear when the new announcement came out with the next Mass Effect that they're going to try to somehow get elements from Andromeda, even like the races, like the Angarans and stuff like that, if to combine it with it. But it just sucks. Disc stories not going to continue because there are some unresolved stories, like the benefactors, which is something to do with the whole trip, the initiative trip in the first place. It's this mysterious person or corporation or something. You find out a little bit about it, but never get a full answer. We probably will never get one. It's clearly shown the cat is not done. You just took down one major problem, but there's more to go to. There are some little stories here and there, and it's sad that we're not going to get any resolution to it. The game itself still ends in a nice moment, even with those side stories not being wrapped up. It still ends on a nice, satisfying conclusion. I can say that much. I didn't feel like, oh, this, the hell's this? Nah, it's still a good conclusion to the game. It's just I want to know more. I want to know more, and maybe we'll get some answers for the next Mass Effect. But I'm not holding my breath with the reaction they had to this game itself. So yeah, like I said, the most terrible thing I could say about this game is the main baddie is boring. There are, like I said, there are still a little tech issues, but nothing game breaking. And one of the gameplay aspects I didn't like is you can't order your squad mates to do certain powers to enemies, which seems odd to leave out. It's something so simple, and it was in Mass Effect 3, but it's odd. And also that your sibling didn't wake up earlier so you could have more interaction time. I'm guessing you would have probably I'm guessing she would have became a squad mate in part 2, but yeah, this is where we are right now. So those are my feelings on Mass Effect Andromeda. Again, great game. I wish there was going to be more of it, but sadly, of how how it was released, it left a bad taste in everyone's mouths, and now they're running back to the Milky Way galaxy. So I don't know what the hell is going to happen. I hope you enjoyed my feelings on this. Again, this is a little bit more free form than my usual reviews. I won't be doing this for every game, just a game here and there probably. So I'll just end it in the usual way that I'll keep the same. I hope you enjoy my thoughts on this game, and for gamers' sake, keep gaming.